Hello, we're Team 8, and today we'll be presenting innovative renewable energy sources for Ceará. I'm Laura, and my team is comprised by Wagner, Guilherme, Renato, Jasmine, and Christiana. But before we start, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the future of Ceará looks like? This is the agenda of our presentation today, and we'll start by talking about the data that we obtained from the observatory. This data was regarding the energy being produced in Ceará from the years 2017 to 2022. In this plot over here, we can see the different energy sources that there are within Ceará and how much energy they produce. We can see that thermal energy has been decreasing over time, while solar energy has been increasing. On this other plot, we can see the contribution to the total energy produced by each type of energy source. We can see that in 2017, thermal energy was the one that was producing the most, while on 2022, it switched, and now wind power is the one that produces the most energy, along with solar that has been increasing. But since we only had data up until 2022, we looked into more data and we found a NILS data set that is a government institution from Brazil. In this, we can see that for 2024, the energy source that produces the most energy is wind power, followed by thermal and solar. Then we looked into demand and production. For this purpose, we used the observatory's data set, but in this case, it was only data for 2022. However, we can see that demand exceeds production of energy within Ceará, and that it also follows seasonality. We were lucky enough to have 3 people from the northeast part of Brazil, and they explained that the decrease in production is due to the rainy season, while the increase is due to the dry season. Finally, we found this map also from a NILS dataset, and we found it interesting because we can see the distribution of the units installed for different energy sources within Ceará, and that there's still a lot of space left to explore within the state.
It's interesting, Laura. Thank you. Now, for the renewable energy innovations coming from the US, we have solar energy, thermal energy, and tidal energy. The first one that we really had outside the box was to have space-based solar power. And this solves a problem where we're not able to capture solar energy during the night at Ceará. With this satellite in orbit, we would be able to capture solar light all day long and night long. So that's why we suggested in our research this technology. Another one that we researched was underground thermal energy networks. This project has been developed by Eversource here in the United States, and the first pilot happened in the city of Framingham here in Massachusetts. This also has been developed in 13 other states of the United States, and it would be applicable for Ceará when we have the heat exchange. So when we have the buildings and the underground thermal network, they would be able to exchange between too hot and cold. So whenever, let's say, it's too hot in Ceará, which is very common in the Northeast, we would be able to cool down the buildings with the underground thermal exchange of heat. Nevertheless, when we are able to throw in that hot temperature to the buildings, we could heat water, for example, or use it to transform energy back to electricity into the grid. Another technology we researched was solid carbon blocks for power storage. The company Antora in the Silicon Valley developed this technology, and our main insight from this is that they're able to store energy in a more efficient way. They're very good into storing the energy and using later on. So we think that this technology can potentially improve the energy grid in Ceará. The 2 solutions that we have for you guys that you should implement right now, it would start with the solar panel dust removal. This technology is being developed here in MIT, in this part of the river of Cambridge, and see how it works in the following video. See how amazing this thing is? You see the magnet passing by the solar panel. What it does is that it removes all the dust, the sand, the minerals that are there making the panel dirty. We know that there are plenty of dunes and sand in the coastline of Ceará. Nevertheless, the solar panels that are there, once they have dust on top of them, people have to either clean it with water and spend money with human labor. This automatic solution would take out both of those costs and also reduce the risk of scratching the surface of the solar panel. That's why we're suggesting the technology. It's important to notice that 10% of operating costs would probably be reduced. and we base this information on the global amounts for a solar farm. Also, the environmental impact, saving around 20,000 liters of water for Ceará, calculated based on the NELS data. We also have this important graph to show to you guys that the solar panels, once they have dust on top of them, their power outage go only to 20%. Once they're cleaned, they go back to 100%. So that's why we can leverage this technology to improve the power grid of Ceará in solar technology. Our other technology suggested is tidal energy solutions. This has been trying to be implemented in Ceará before. Nevertheless, Verdant Power has been a company that proved concept and is already working in the New York State in the United States. See how it works in the following video. Do you see how amazing that is as well? You have the tides making the blades turn inside the ocean and they turn back to electricity to the grid. This would work in Ceará amazingly. We know that there are great winds as well as great waves, so the tide is very strong. It's not a coincidence that we have great surface at Ceará. So this technology would be really important to deliver more energy, as well as to utilize the coast of Ceará as an extensive 600 kilometers of coastline to produce more energy. This comes to the final conclusion of recommending the solar panels, dust removal, as well as the turbine systems for Ceará. We think that both of them are applicable to the situation we have right now at the state, and we think that it would be available for us to apply those two technologies. When it comes to the solar panel dust removal and its availability, it would be something that we will work on and relate as well as leverage the strong partnership Boston Innovation Gateway has with MIT Innovation Labs. Once we do that bridge and are able to use the MVP that MIT developed with the special contract situation that we have in Brazil for propelling innovation, we would be able to bring this technology to the state of Ceará. When it comes to the turbine system, it is a company that has been already selling this service, and it is something we can import to Brazil right now. So that's why we suggest the technology. When it comes to sustainability, all the 5 technologies we researched and showed to you guys today are sustainable. Nevertheless, the 2 that we recommend is the solar panel dust removal and the tidal turbine system. That's how we see the future of Ceará. Thank you.